Friends are great, aren't they? You meet them when you're young, you start to grow up a little bit. Sooner or later, they all start pairing off. They meet the loves of their lives. They start breeding. Lots of breeding. And then you're left with your core friend group. And then one day, your podcast partner tells you that he's met Andie McDowell. And you try to warn him. No, not Andie McDowell. Friends don't let friends Andie McDowell. But he won't listen to you. Every time it rains, they run outside together. I don't know why. Do yourself a favor. Keep your friends away from Andie McDowell. And welcome to You've Got Mails.
Do you, CJ, take Jason to be your You've Got Mails co-host? To have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer and for poorer, in sickness and in health, through step up to step up to, the streets, to love and to cherish till death do you part, according to Julia Roberts' holy ordinance, and thereto pledge your faith to him?
I do.
You may high-five the co-host.
Yeah.
Welcome to You've Got Mails, everybody. I'm Jason. I'm here with my newly betrothed, CJ. And on today's episode, we'll be discussing 1994's 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Holy shit. We could have... Can we just do the 4 weddings?
I like to call this movie 4 Boring White People and Some Other Boring White People.
Really?
Yeah.
You weren't into this.
I didn't like this movie that much.
Oh man, this will probably be the biggest discrepancy between us that we've ever had.
I got the impression from you that you were into it. I don't know, we can get into it. I don't know, maybe it's just stuffy, boring British people.
Oh, there was one really annoying American.
It's just the worst. The worst American.
The worst American. They picked the worst one. And fucking Andie McDowell is a wonderful person.
And Hugh Grant's usually quite charming.
She should have read this and been like, no, that's not me. Like Helena Bonham Carter's around.
Oh,
she could
yeah.
probably do an American accent.
Yeah,
That's
she
her.
would have been a great cold-hearted, unfeeling, awful woman. So I guess, anyway, what did you know about this movie?
Movie's going to make me an incel.
what did you know about 4 Weddings and a Funeral before we watched it? Did you know anything?
I knew shit all. I knew it had to do with math, as in 4 plus 1.
I thought you said meth.
Math, yeah. No, it had to do with, 4 weddings, a funeral, and Hugh Grant. Our guy.
I knew it was Hugh Grant, and I knew it was our boy Richard Curtis, who wrote and directed Love Actually. So I had real high hopes for this movie. Richard Curtis didn't direct this, but he wrote it. I think this might have been one of the first things, first motion picture that he wrote.
I also found out during this movie, it's a real hard-on for that song.
Oh, yeah.
Love is all around me.
That's right.
Yeah.
And now you know it was a song before Love Actually. It wasn't just made up for that movie.
There was no time before Love Actually for me.
That's all. There's pre-Love Actually and post-Love Actually. So yeah, we'll talk about this movie. It's about 4 weddings and a funeral.
Not in that order. That was shocking.
That was shocking. I was expecting another wedding, and then they hit me with the death. So this movie follows a little friend group, and we're kind of introduced to them right out of the gate in the opening credits. We get our first glimpse at Hugh Grant. He is waking up to an alarm, and he rolls over and turns the alarm off, goes right back to sleep. And then we get a little montage of all of our other people. They didn't do a great job in this movie of explaining who was who to each other.
No.
So we meet Tom and Fiona, who live in the same home and come down to breakfast and are introduced to us by their maid, who says to them, Master and Mrs. whatever their last name was. And I assumed they were married.
I assume they were brother and sister.
They are. I thought they were married.
Oh, are they?
They are, brother. That's what I'm saying. Nobody knows who anybody is in this movie.
Okay, because I read like an IMDb thing that said that in the original script, he was in college and he woke up one day and she was sleeping in the living room.
No, you're talking about Charles and Scarlett. Yes, I thought they were brother and sister. Tom and Fiona are the other 2 friends who live in the castle.
Correct, okay.
I thought they were married. So it's confusing.
We got these just stuffy British names, man.
It's everybody. You can interchange anybody in this movie with anybody else except for Gareth. Gareth is a saint, and you cannot replace him with anyone.
Let's get a second high five.
Up top for Gareth. From there we meet Gareth and Matthew, who are, I thought it was pretty obvious that they were lovers.
Yeah, right off the top.
Yeah, so they're making breakfast. Gareth has some shaving cream on his nose. Matthew lovingly wipes it off. A little bit of foreshadowing.
I mean, me and you were tight as shit, but if you had shaving cream on your nose right now, I wouldn't wipe it off for you. So it was pretty obvious.
You swore your undying allegiance to me 5 minutes ago, CJ.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's always a microphone between us to
Oh.
keep us apart.
That's true. This microphone wasn't here. Oh, boy. But we meet Gareth and Matthew. A little bit of foreshadowing. Gareth is making the biggest breakfast I've ever seen. Probably about to eat 8,000 calories while smoking a cigarette.
Yep.
This will play into things later. And then we cut back to Charles, who's Hugh Grant's character, finally wakes up and realizes he's incredibly late. And the first line of dialogue in this entire movie is fuck.
Fuck,
Followed by
fuck.
about 50 more fucks. He goes and wakes up Scarlett, who is in his flatmate, I guess you'd call her.
Yes.
And I thought they were brother and sister. They're not. There is a deleted scene in this movie where they explain everybody's backstory, which would have been really helpful. Like, of all the things to cut out of a movie, that's not the one you cut out.
I don't know if you need to get artistic and be like, we're just going to drop people into this.
Yeah, but apparently, backstory is... So everybody in this is about the same age. They're all like probably early 30s, except for Gareth, who seems to be much older, which will also play into the movie later. They were all going to college together. Gareth was a professor, and they all became a friend group. Gareth started dating Matthew. They had a party one night at Charlie's house, and when they woke up the next morning, Scarlett was asleep under his table, and she's lived there ever since. So she's basically just squatting and has become part of the friend group.
I dig it.
But Scarlett and Charles...
I know Scarlett. Like,
Yeah.
I know Scarletts.
There's a Scarlett under this table right now.
Yeah, like, they're not always a girl. Sometimes they're a guy, but you know that person.
Right.
I've been Scarlett. I swear to God.
Scarlett's the guy on the couch.
Yeah.
But so he wakes up Scarlett and they have to get to the first wedding. We get a wedding card, essentially. The movie's split up into 4 parts, basically. And you get a little title card for each one. And it's just the wedding invitation. I mean, it has the names of the people of the wedding. It's Angus and Laura, I believe, are the first wedding.
Yes.
From here, we get a funny scene of Hugh Grant's character and Scarlett rushing to the wedding. They get in the car won't start. We get several more fucks. They have to take Scarlett's car. They're riding down the highway doing like 70 on the M1. Miss their exit. Hugh Grant slams on the brakes and reverses on the highway.
This is how you die. This is where the funeral should have come in early.
This was incredibly stressful for me. So he backs up, a lot more fucks, gets off the exit. They finally get to the wedding. The other friends in the friend group have all arrived together in the same car. Apparently no one wanted to pick up Hugh Grant and Scarlett.
Nobody knows that these people are eternally late. Like, come on.
They know because he shows up and he's like, oh, sorry, traffic. And they all just roll their eyes at him like, okay, Charles, okay. They run into the wedding, past like the bride and the bridesmaids are about to go in. And they all just kind of rush through. Turns out Hugh Grant's character is the best man for this wedding. He runs up, stands next to the groom, apologizes. Angus very, the British, so polite. This whole movie, everybody's so polite. And he's just like, oh, it's no problem as long as you brought the rings. Hugh Grant says, oh, of course I've got the rings. You fucking know he doesn't have the rings. There's no way he's got the rings.
He's barely got underwear on.
So he starts patting himself down, realizes he does not have the rings, and then has to turn around to the friend group and kind of mouths to them, help me, I don't have the rings. And they kind of pull together, and as the priest asks for the rings, he finally gets them handed to him, and he hands them a pewter skull ring with like flaming wings around it. And then it looks like a lollipop.
It's badass.
Yeah.
If this was my wedding, fucking roll
these
with
rings
it.
would be sweet. It's like a rainbow heart. It looks like it would be like the top of a lollipop that a kid would eat. And he gives them to the groom and he gets like a look like, oh, these aren't the rings.
This brought me back. I've been to, I don't know, maybe 30 or 40 weddings. Like I used to do the event planner thing.
Yeah.
I could tell you the best weddings, including my own, are when something major falls apart. So like the rings don't show up. You suddenly all the little things you're worried about, like the stress breaks away.
Yeah.
You weren't at my wedding.
I wasn't.
We met, a year or two after that.
Yeah.
So my wedding, the only 2 people that worked my wedding that I knew, 2 friends of us, Walt and Susie. Susie, you're a listener. Love you.
Yeah.
Walt, we actually hired to be our minister.
Yeah.
And you may know Walt as a local punk rock legend and a guy that is very comfortable on stage.
Yeah.
In the middle of the wedding.
Sometimes too comfortable.
I was ready to faint. I was so nervous. Walt, in the middle of the ceremony, decides to pronounce us man and wife without going through any of the stuff. To which I elbow him and say, hey, man, like, what about, us saying our vows to each other? And he goes, into the mic, yells, oh, shit. And then realizes he yells, oh, shit, and goes, oh, shit, again. But all the stress.
It just goes away. So,
everything was gone. Everybody giggles a little bit. Rest of the ceremony was spot on, perfect.
I like to think it in my own mind. I like to retcon this and think that Walt knew that was going to happen, and he did that intentionally to relieve your stress.
The consummate showman.
He really is. I think that's what he was doing. So he gives the rings. That the wedding finally, the ceremony, I guess, ends. But this is a real pet peeve of mine: long weddings.
Yeah.
There's no reason a ceremony at a wedding should take more than 30 minutes. 30 minutes max.
Catholics, man.
I don't know what these are just British. I mean, they've got like folk band playing music. They've got like people reading scriptures. It goes on and it goes on and it goes on. And I love this because we get to see Gareth in the crowd. Just like every new thing that happens, he's just rolling his eyes. He's dying in his seat because he hates it so much. And I was Gareth in that moment. I was like, yeah, I'd be this guy. Like, yes. I'd be looking for a way to get out of that church like immediately. So the wedding finally ends after what seems like an eternity. Speaking of seems like an eternity, I want to warn some listeners at home. If you decide to watch this movie, it might be too late to warn you now. I queued this up on Amazon, and you get like your little like home page, your title page before
free
you hit play.
Free on Amazon Prime.
Free on Amazon Prime. You queue up your little home page where it says play, and then you can set your subtitles, whatever. Look at all the cast. It said 80 minutes, and I'm like, this is good. A nice tight 80 minutes, like. Perfect. The movie gets points already because it's going to be a nice, like, quick breeze.
Yeah, Hugh Grant in 80 minutes. Let's do it.
And then I start playing the movie, and we're only on, like, the second wedding, and I'm like, this seems like it's been going on for a long time. And I pause it, and it's an hour and 57 minutes.
Oh.
That's not 80 minutes. This is almost a 120-minute movie. Fucking Amazon lied to me. Might be part of the reason I didn't like this movie, because I felt like I was lied to. I was sold a false bill of goods.
You were ready to run.
But so we get, the receiving line, everybody... coming out and saying goodbye, hello, and goodbye, whatever. When you come out and you give your well wishes before you head to the reception. And this is kind of where we first meet Andie McDowell's character. She plays Carrie. She's an American. Not sure how she got the invite to the wedding. It's never explained.
I don't know how she wasn't deported.
Not sure how she got the invite to any of these weddings, except for her own. But Hugh Grant saw her inside the church, and he's, immediately smitten with her. So they share like a few words in the receiving line. He tells her she has a nice hat. He's like, that's his best line. If you're British and you're trying to pick up a girl, tell him how much you like their hat. Which, very polite.
This kind of confused me because he gets like real bumbly and can't really talk to her. But there's a scene, I believe it's during the second wedding, where he sits down at a table and he has banged every woman at the table. They are all telling stories about him. So is he like a Casanova or a bumbling idiot?
I think when
or does he just look like Hugh Grant?
I think when you look like 1994's era Hugh Grant, like you can get away with it, and it's charming. It's a charming kind of bumbling. It's not like I think it's just charming.
Yeah, like I try to pull these moves at a table full of women, and like I'm going to jail.
Yeah, it's not. Well, I mean, we can all see. We'll get to it, but the second wedding,
there's not a rape whistle at that table.
None of these women are real happy with Hugh Grant's character. So from here we go to the reception, and we kind of get a little bit of backstory on Carrie. Not really so much. A little bit of exposition. She's not really fleshed out very well. No. We find out that she is an American, which we already kind of knew, and that she works for Vogue. And in the words of Fiona, who's one of Hugh Grant's friend group, is a slut. How she knows this, I don't know how anyone knows this woman. I don't know how they know she's a slut. But this does not deter Hugh Grant. If anything, this kind of spurs him on.
Look, I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to slut shame.
We don't slut shame on...
I'm on Fiona's side, though. I feel for Fiona. I'm with Fiona.
Why?
I'm team fucking Fiona.
Why?
Just keep talking. We'll get into it, because Fiona's a fucking saint.
All right.
That's why.
So, we get to the weddings. We get to the reception. Hugh Grant grabs a couple glasses of champagne. This is his move to kind of go over and talk to Carrie now that he knows she's a slut. And he walks over to her with a couple glasses of champagne and going to grease the wheels a little bit. And he's interrupted by a fella, I don't know his name. And he kind of butts in as he's trying to basically cockblocks. Hugh Grant gets cockblocked a lot in the first wedding of this movie. It's actually, I really like this part. There's a good line. Hugh Grant asks if he's still dating whoever his then girlfriend was. And he goes, oh, she's not my girlfriend anymore. And he goes, oh, well, that's probably a good thing, because I heard she was still boning this other fellow the whole time you were together. And he goes, oh, she's my wife now. Yes. So Hugh Grant is just constantly putting his foot in his mouth.
But the guy's like, you're 1994 Hugh Grant. You're adorable.
Yeah, no, this guy was not happy. You could tell he was pretty upset by it. And at this point, Andie McDowell was kind of like, ooh, I should get out of here. So she scoots off, and he's missed his opportunity to talk to her. We get to the reception. The first dance for the bride and groom is Crocodile Rock.
Weird play?
Weird play and just like weird dancing all around. Like I thought this was supposed to be like a parody of white people dancing.
I hate to tell you this. Yeah, I mean,
that's what I mean.
Look at that crowd. Not a lot of diversity.
There's not a lot of diversity in this movie. This is probably the whitest movie we've seen.
This made me think of one of my mother's golden rules.
What's that?
Is if you're ever in a large group of people and they're all one race, doesn't matter which race it is, you're in the wrong place. That is one of her golden rules. You walk into a bar and it's all white people, you've gone to the wrong bar.
There's one person of color in this movie, and I'm pretty sure they put him in after the fact in post-production just so there wasn't, and I'll explain it later.
They called in Spielberg. They were like, can you get some of those guys from Weta to put somebody in this movie?
We'll get to it later, but there is one person of color in this movie. So we get the dancing, and then everybody starts dancing. This is where we get to see Gareth dance. And Gareth is a madman on the dance floor. This guy is like flailing. It's like the Elaine Bennis dance, like on steroids. And it's funny because Matthew, his boyfriend, is at one point he was like, I remember the first time I saw Gareth on the dance floor, I was afraid lives would be lost. Because this guy, it looks like he's in the middle of a circle pit at a hardcore show. Yeah. He's like windmilling, like kicking in the air.
I give this movie props too for not making they're a couple, but it's not like they're trying to teach people things like in 1994. Like I'd never even heard of this relationship in this movie. And you thought in 1994 everybody was so uptight.
See, well, I take issue with that a little bit because I feel like it was vague. It wasn't as out there as it could have been. I don't know if you know, gay marriage wasn't even legal in the UK until 2013. I think if this movie was made now, there would have at least been a kiss, something. I feel like they played it super safe with this relationship, almost to the point where like you could question like, are they together or are they just like, is Gareth his like gay Yoda? He's like an older guy who's also gay, who's kind of like showing him the ways. Yeah. Like there was never really like a real strong one way or the other whether they were together or not. Okay. I mean, I think it's implied, and I think that's how I took it, but I didn't think it was as.
I can see that from your way.
For 1994, I think it was as much as they could get away with without inciting some kind of like hatred from some group.
Fucking Oprah telling you about how evil this movie was or something.
Yeah, but I don't think it was as. I think it was implied, but I don't think it was in your face as it could have been. So we get some more. We get little scenes throughout the reception, meeting some of the characters. We find out that Hugh Grant's character has a brother, David, who's deaf, and we see him using sign language. We also meet a girl named Cecilia at the wedding who notices David, and actually asks Matthew about him, like, who's the catch? She's obviously attracted to David, and I thought this was actually the sweetest story of the whole movie. I like this one a lot.
This is one of the things in this movie I really loved, because the movie takes place over 5 distinct stories over like a year and a half period.
Yeah, about a year and a half.
So you get to see these stories kind of progress.
Yeah,
then some of them disappear altogether, and that bothered me.
Yeah, they do a good job. They do a pretty good job. Like even like the small characters have like a little through line, and we get to see them in each of the events and things like that. Speaking of some of these through lines, we meet Lydia, who is one of the bridesmaids, and she is at the table just basically crying, saying, I was told that if I was a bridesmaid, I was guaranteed sex. I would have sex. And I know there's not anybody here, no one in sight. And her friend Bernard is sitting next to her, and he's kind of like, well, if you want to have sex, I could do this for you. And she's like, oh, I'm not that desperate. And then poor Bernard's like, oh yeah, I understand. I'm sorry. It's so painfully Britishly polite. He's like, oh yeah, I shouldn't have said anything. I apologize. We get to find out that Tom and Fiona, because Hugh Grant's talking to Tom's character about what they're doing after the wedding. Hugh Grant's supposed to be staying at this little inn, and Thomas has a castle with 137 bedrooms in it. He tells us.
Yeah, it's loaded.
Yeah, we find out he's like the 7th wealthiest family in England. Yeah. We get that little bit of tidbit of information about Thomas and Fiona, and he invites Hugh Grant over. They're going to play some Scrabble and have a nightcap, and they can all stay at the castle if they want to. He agrees to do that. As soon as he does...
That's like the British equivalent of an orgy. It's like a little bit of Scrabble and nightcap.
Yeah.
I'm busting out the good brandy. You guys keep your pants on.
Triple word score. My heavens. It's getting hot in here. As soon as he agrees to stay at the castle, Carrie comes over to him. Again, she's tracked him down because his bumbling charm is like honey to the bees. And she asks him, where are you staying? And he says, well, I was supposed to stay at this little inn, but some friends have asked me to come. She's like, oh, that's too bad because I'm staying at the inn. And then just kind of like walks off. And he's just like, fuck, like this was my chance. Like And then as they're all leaving the wedding, we get to see that Bernard and Lydia are just going to town on each other.
Full face.
Yeah, just tongues and mouths and just passionately making out. So I was like, good for Bernard. Yeah, good for Bernard. He's getting some. They get in the car. They go to leave for the castle, and Hugh Grant is like, I can't. I have to go to the inn. Like, I have to get out of the car. So he gets out of the car, goes to the inn, goes into the little parlor room, and meets up with Carrie, who's having a drink. And he orders a few drinks. And then we get this guy that comes downstairs looking for Carrie. He's like this big bore. Like, he's a drunk. Like, he's obviously like not a good guy. And Hugh Grant turns around and Carrie's just gone. And this guy is like, oh, where'd that Carrie girl, where'd that American girl go? I was in there. And you see her hiding behind the couch.
That's the phrase, I was in that.
Yeah, I was in there. You see her hiding behind a couch, and she's like, no, I wasn't. She sneaks off and then sends the waiter down to tell Hugh Grant that his wife's looking for him. And of course, Hugh Grant is, I don't have a wife. Like, the guy's a fucking bumbling idiot the entire movie. And then he finally realizes...
It's a surprise he ever ended up in that.
Yeah. He was in there a few times. So he finally catches on to what's going on, and the waiter tells him, his wife's looking for him in room 12. So he goes up to room 12, and still, he's at this woman's door of her hotel room. And he still, I don't think, really understands what's going on, because he's like, we could just skulk around here in the hallways for a little bit until he leaves and we can go back downstairs and have our drinks. So she has to kind of invite him into the room, and they end up having sex.
He's like a stupidity vampire. You have to let him in at all times.
Yes. So they end up having sex, and I thought to myself during this scene, like, if you want to have sex with Hugh Grant, you kind of have to put up with his, like, polite mumblings through the entire thing. Because there's, like, this, like, sex scene where, like, if there was no dialogue, it would be, like, a sexy sex scene. But, like, he's, like, talking through the entire thing.
He's
like,
Hugh Granting through the entire thing.
Yeah, I'm like, this would be exhausting. I'm like, shut the fuck up, Hugh Grant. We're having sex here. Next morning, they get up, and there's, like, a funny scene where Andie McDowell's character is like, so I guess we get married now, right? Because we had sex. And he kind of freaks out, like, oh, I didn't know this is what was happening. We find out she's joking, and
that was a good play.
Yeah, and then, she kind of, like, alleviated the tension, I guess, the awkwardness of that morning after. And they go their separate ways. Like, no numbers exchanged, nothing. She's just going back to America. It was a one-night stand. Everything's all copacetic, as it were. Like, they both go their own ways.
It's a wedding.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. I've been single at very few weddings, but from what I understand, you're just supposed to go hook up.
Oh, I'd say I haven't been to a lot of weddings either. I think every time I've been to a wedding, I've been with someone.
Oh.
So from there, we flash forward 3 months to our next wedding. Guess who it is?
Fucking Bernard.
It's Bernard and Lydia. I like saying Bernard. It's more fun that way. We get to their wedding. And, of course, we get a scene with Hugh Grant and Scarlett being extremely late in the morning. Their alarms go off. They miss them. A bunch more fucks are said. They can't drive because Scarlett's car has a boot on it.
Yeah.
And they have
so
to actually...
hoof it.
They have to actually run to the church. There's a funny scene where there's, like, 2 people on a sidewalk, like, jogging, like, running for their health. And then all of a sudden, Hugh Grant and Scarlett, like, sprint past them, like, putting on their tuxedo and, like, dress and everything. They get to the wedding, like, right in time. Scarlett is a bridesmaid this wedding, and Hugh Grant is just a guest. He runs into Carrie again. Surprisingly enough, she's invited to every wedding in England, and she introduces Hugh Grant to her fiancé, Hamish.
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, I was pissed off. I was like, what? This is bullshit.
This is where she lost me completely. I was like, the after-sex banter, I was all into it, and then, like, 10 minutes later, I'm like, I'm done.
This didn't bother me so much, because I was like, well, whenever she got engaged, like, they weren't an item. It wasn't a big deal, but I was like, well, this is obviously not going to last, or it's gonna be a plot point. So these two were supposed to be the main love interests. I was like, whatever. I mean, she didn't sleep with him while she was engaged.
Yeah.
So he meets her, and he's kind of disheartened by it, and we find out that this Hamish guy is like 3 times her age and very wealthy. He owns like half of Scotland.
Both goats.
Both goats. We get the wedding scene.
Sorry, Scottish listener. That was a bad joke.
Yeah, we do have a Scottish listener.
Yeah, that was...
Come on. CJ's actually Scottish, so
well,
he denies it, but he is. If you saw him, you'd know.
Edinburgh's on the list.
He's a Scotsman through and through. But this Scottish guy is a bit of a douche in this movie. In a movie full of like just stuffy British people, this guy stuck out as like the stuffiest. And I was like, yeah. You're not supposed to like Hamish. We get the wedding, and this is like our one big Mr. Bean scene.
Yeah, so this was the thing. They set him up during the first wedding where he's training to be a vicar.
Yeah.
And now he is full-fledged. He's all the way in there. He has this amazing scene. And then we never hear from him again.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed. I thought he'd be in all the other scenes. Yeah, but he's not good. He's not a good priest.
What I am imagining in my head is the Catholic Church decided to uproot him and move him to a different parish for no reason.
Not Mr. Bean.
Not Mr. Bean.
Not Mr. Bean. No, he would never. No, but he like just butchers the ceremony. Like he's saying you're to be your awfully wedded wife, and the holy goat instead of the Holy Ghost, and the holy spigot instead of the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
And it's just he fights his way through it, and finally they get through it, and everybody's happy.
Yet again, great wedding, because everything starts to go wrong.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And then we get to the reception. Who made the seating chart for this wedding, CJ?
Yeah, let's put this guy with all the women, but apparently he's also slept with all the women.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard for him to miss.
Well, I don't know if he slept with, he slept with at least 4, and they put him at the table with all of them. They're all ex-girlfriends. And this is where we finally start to find out that Hugh Grant's character is kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, we get little stories from each girl. The one went on a trip to him to India, and she got violently ill, and he just made fun of her the entire time and didn't take care of her. The other girl, he constantly would make jokes about her weight, and then slept with her mother, who he also said was fat.
Yes.
But slept with both of them. So he slept with his girlfriend's mother.
So you think when Fiona was like, that girl's a slut, he was like, game knows game.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. I think he's clearly not a good guy.
I'm sorry. Game knows game.
He's not a good guy.
However fucking Hugh Grant sounds.
And then he kind of says, well, at least I didn't run into Henrietta, who's another ex of his, and immediately she shows up. He turns around and says hello to her, and she bursts into tears. So God knows what he did to this woman.
It couldn't have been good.
No, it's just awful. So he goes through all this. So he decides he needs to get away for a minute. So he ducks into like a room in the hotel where they're having the reception. He looks out the window and he sees Carrie and Hamish getting in a car together, and he's distraught over her leaving because, he's madly in love with this woman after a one night stand.
Well, he hasn't ruined her life yet.
Yeah. And to this point, Bernard and Lydia bust into the door and immediately start having sex. These two
like frantic
are
sex.
horned up all the time. Lydia went from not wanting anything to do with Bernard, and now she wants everything to do with Bernard. And Hugh Grant, instead of just, I'm in here before penetration occurs, backs into the corner and tries to hide and is in the room for a solid 15-minute bone sesh. And just like awkwardly hiding. At one point he gets into the water closet and like gets up on the sink and like shuts the little door, but then the door pops open. And then finally like they get done having sex and realize he's in the room, and he picks up a pen and he just goes, there it is, and walks out. So creepy.
All right, the more we talk about this man, the less I'm liking him.
Yeah, that's not a good guy. He goes to leave the room and he runs into Carrie again. And he thought that she had left, but she didn't.
No.
She says that Hamish had to leave for business. I can only imagine
she's here for business.
Yeah, she got into the car with him. So I can only assume that maybe like she had just had sex with her fiance in the car before he left. Because she didn't go anywhere.
Not in front of the driver.
Behind the driver.
Oh, okay.
And he probably stood outside and kept people away.
That's that rich people thing.
Yeah.
They like it when it's weird.
Yeah. It's the only way Hamish can get excited. It's the only way he can get a tent in his kilt if somebody's watching. She tells him that she's here to stay for a little bit, and they have sex again. So now she's engaged and has cheated on her fiance.
Yeah.
She's an awful person.
I came into this knowing she was an awful person. Now I'm starting to realize they're both pretty awful.
Yeah, they're both.
It's not changing my opinion on this movie as a whole, though.
All right, that's fine. So they have sex again, and then the next morning, Hugh Grant just gets up. I think she's like still asleep. He gives her like a nice longing look, and then leaves. We cut to 3 months later, and Hugh Grant wakes up. No wedding to go to. He actually states it's nice not to have a wedding to go to. So this guy's going to weddings like every Saturday.
He's at that age, though. I think it's supposed to be that like around 30 years old where like all your friends are pairing off.
I've been to like, I think 5 weddings. And not a lot of weddings for me.
No?
No.
I think I've been to quite a few. For me, it's more of all the people who are pairing off and fucking breeding like rabbits.
Yeah.
So now I have one friend group that is all the children's friend group, and then one friend group that's cool. Like, me and you on a Saturday night gonna drink till 4 a.m. No kid's gonna care about that. No child cares at all.
I don't have to worry about a babysitter. Nothing.
Yeah.
But flash forward 3, he doesn't have a wedding to go to, but Scarlett brings him the mail, and he gets an invite to Carrie and Hamish's wedding. What the fuck is that?
Tone deaf, man.
Horribly. Like, why are you inviting this guy to your wedding? You slept with him twice. You've met him twice. The first time you met him, we saw the exact amount of conversation that occurred before you slept together. It was maybe 5 minutes.
Yes.
And now this guy's invited to your wedding.
I could tell you what, there was people in my wedding that I wasn't super excited about having there.
Yeah.
Like weird family and shit like that. Not a single person that had banged me or my wife was there. Not a single one of them.
But it's like sociopathic behavior. So she invites this guy to her wedding.
Wait, I hope so.
I gotta go back and look at that guest list again. Just totally sociopathic behavior. So he has to go buy her a gift, and he goes to this little store, and we find out that Hamish and Carrie, there is not a thing on their registry less than 4,000 pounds. That's about 6,000 American. First of all, fuck right off.
Yeah.
Not everybody has that kind of money.
All the way off.
Also, your wedding's in Scotland, so people have to travel to get there. If you're inviting a bunch of people from England, so some Joe Schmo you banged at a wedding has to come from England, that's like a 7-hour and 20-minute drive. I looked it up. It's not close, England to Scotland. So he's in the store, like, trying to find a gift, can't, like, afford anything. And then Carrie shows up randomly to check on her registry to see what all has been bought.
Not stalking him or anything.
I don't think she was. I just think, like, she married Hamish, or is marrying Hamish because the guy is insanely rich. And she just wants to stop in and see, what am I getting? That's the vibe I got. But she asks Hugh Grant if he's got 30 minutes, she'd like to take him somewhere. Takes this guy to her wedding dress fitting, where there is a montage of her trying on like 7 different dresses. First of all, that doesn't take a half hour.
No.
That's 2 hours. Minimum. For what was all done in this montage.
Oh, he's smitten, though. He has to.
Well, yeah, he is.
Let's leave my deaf brother to wait for me.
But also, again, you are engaged, and you have taken a man that you've slept with twice and barely know to your wedding dress fittings.
Oh, yeah. She's not a good person.
Fucking terrible. But Hugh Grant was supposed to meet his brother. They were going to the movies. They actually go have coffee before this even.
Yeah, you know how often movies show a fucking screening with subtitles? You have to be on time. They're not doing all that all day long.
No, but they have coffee, and Hugh Grant kind of like opens up to her a little bit and says, you've slept with me twice and never called me, and I wish I would have called you, but I didn't. So, I mean, they're both to blame here, but I don't think they ever exchanged numbers. So anyway, how are you going to call somebody? And then she tells him about like all the people she slept with, which was strange. Like, she goes through the list, like 1 through 33, him being 33. Like, she vividly pretty much describes each sexual encounter with each person.
So was it a joke or not? Because at first I thought it was a joke, but as she went further, I was like, this is way too detailed.
No, I think she was just telling him all the people she slept with, and I'm not really sure why. And then he's obviously intimidated because he's not slept with nearly as many people.
Yeah.
Just like the 4, which kind of goes against your point that he doesn't like sleep with everybody.
Yeah, Hugh Grant in real life, walking case of syphilis.
Oh, yeah.
That guy was loaded down.
He's way more than 33. His body count is high. But we find out that he's only slept with like 9 people, and 4 of them were at that one wedding.
Wow.
He hasn't slept with everyone in England.
Keeps it local, man.
Yeah, he hasn't slept with everyone in England. From here, they go to meet his brother, and they part ways. And then as soon as he walks in the theater, he decides he needs to run back out and catch up to her. Goes to her and in like very bumbling, charming Hugh Grant way, tells her he loves her. And she just kind of very coldly is like, oh, that was very romantic. Thank you. And then walks away. And he's like, okay, well, okay, that's that. Sorry, I shouldn't have bothered you. He actually says that too. Yeah. He's like, oh, sorry, I shouldn't be here. I should get going. And then he leaves.
Radio.
Cut to their wedding.
Carrie and
Hamish's wedding. In a big Scottish castle. Everybody's got kilts on. I gotta say, and for our Scottish listener, I apologize. Scottish weddings look kind of boring. I mean, although you're marrying like a Scottish millionaire, so it's probably a little more stuffy than like a Scottish wedding at like a bingo hall.
Well, I mean, like the McDonald's there in fucking castles. I'm sure you get used to it after a while.
But it just didn't look like a good time to me. I don't know. And I love bagpipes,
I thought it looked great.
I don't think I could handle dancing to bagpipes all night.
I think that would have been my happiest wedding.
Really? No, I like the first one with like the band that was playing Crocodile Rock and like I like the band.
I can't do the long church thing.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about reception-wise.
Yeah, okay.
We didn't even see the ceremony for Carrie and Hamish's wedding, oddly enough.
I assumed it was in the living room of that castle.
It probably was, but there was no ceremony to be seen there. we find out, and this is where we find out about Fiona, which might be what you want to talk about.
She lays it on the line, man.
Yeah, Hugh Grant is kind of disappointed. He's depressed because he's at the wedding of this woman that he loves for whatever reason. And they go off into like a little corner parlor, and Fiona basically tells him, like, I can't fall in love with anybody because I've been in love with the same guy forever, and I can't get over it. And she tells him that it's her.
She tells him that it's him.
Well, yeah, she says that she's in love with him. I'm sorry, that was a little confusing. So Fiona confesses her love to Hugh Grant.
And he just brushes it right the fuck off.
I mean, not rudely, but he was kind of like, we're friends. It's like somebody like, I mean, we have, like, I have friends that are women that, like, if at any point that I've known for years and years, if at any point they were like, I think I'm in love with you, I'd be like, whoa, that's sweet, but like, that's not how that's not how I feel about things.
Well, then I'll just put these next cards back in my pocket.
Oh, no. I said woman friends.
Oh, hey.
But yeah, so, he kind of just, he does brush it off, but I don't think in like a mean way, but he kind of just explains to her, like, that's not who we are. That's not who I am. It's not how I feel about you. Then we get to the speeches from the bride and groom. Carrie gives a little speech, and he even fucking takes like, not like a dig, but like she kind of shouts out Hugh Grant in her wedding speech. Cause at the end of it, she's like, also, I just want to say there's one guest here who told me to let him know if things between me and Hamish don't work out. And she's like, I'll keep you posted.
What a move.
And I'm like, what? And everybody laughs it off. They think it's a joke, but it's not a joke. Like, there's a guy in that room who has been inside your wife.
I am so surprised this didn't end with his funeral, because that line would have killed me. Like, I had just started grasping the heart and falling over.
I'd have been like, who is he? I want to know.
She might as well have taken a shoe off and thrown it at him right in the middle of the speech.
And then Hamish begins to give his speech, and this is where the movie really just broke my heart.
This is where it wrecked me, man.
Because Gareth, the man who ate 8,000 calories for breakfast and smoked a pack of cigarettes before every wedding, dies in the middle of the hall, and no one even notices.
Well, they drag him out of there,
but still, like,
you don't want to interrupt a wedding.
He falls down, like, not in the very back of the crowd. Like, there's people around him. He collapses. The only people that go to him are his friends, and there's one doctor. They're like, is there a doctor around? And luckily, the guy next to them was like, I'm a doctor. And they drag him to another room. And Hamish doesn't even stop the speech. He's like, he looks up and he looks annoyed that someone collapsed in the middle of the room. And we all drag Gareth off to this other room where they realize he's dead.
Fuck. This is the first time I've ever wrote down fucking somebody, like fucking Gareth, on my notepad.
I think I wrote, Gareth, no!
Yeah, but it was just out of pure love. I was like, fucking Gareth? Why Gareth? Kill anybody else.
I had no reason to think this. Like, they didn't really set it up all at the beginning. But I liked him so much. In like a sea of boring white British people, like, he was the one guy that stood out to me.
Yes.
And I was like, early on in my notes, I was like, I certainly hope it isn't Gareth's funeral. Oh, God damn it if I wasn't right.
Oh, can I set the scene for you?
Please.
I wake up when the sun gets up, Jason.
Okay.
I who I am.
You're
it's what I've always been. Doesn't matter when I go to sleep. I'm up when the sun gets up. So I got up around 5:30 in the morning, turned this movie on, made some coffee. I'm drinking it. Gareth goes down.
Yeah.
I had a full day ahead of me. I'm remodeling the Love Shack.
You are. It looks beautiful.
Thank you. I poured about a quarter bottle of Bailey's into this next coffee.
Step hard.
I was fucking hurting, man.
Yeah, it's like I said, he was the one like shining light, like the one beacon of hope in a sea of just milquetoast people. But yeah, so Gareth dies, and we get a funeral scene. This is our one funeral, and Matthew gives a beautiful, like, gets up and gives this beautiful, like, speech about him. Like, I got a little teary. I didn't cry, but I Did you cry?
I was a drunk little bitch.
I got a little teary.
Can you read this top note that I wrote in the middle of the poem?
Please stop the poem.
That's it. That's the note. Please stop this poem. Yeah, I need to get off.
He reads this beautiful poem, and it's just this very sweet moment about Gareth. This is what I wanted to bring up before. They cut to like a few people in the crowd like crying. And there is one scene of like an African American man, like extreme close up of his face. We don't know who this guy is. Doesn't have a name. Not a character we've seen before. No one else around him.
It's shot in a different church. They added it in later.
I am fairly positive that they went back and looked at this movie when it was done, and they were like, "Ooh, we better do something about this. And brought a guy in, sat him in a pew, and just said, look sad for a minute. Got a close-up shot.
I do appreciate you called him African-American in Britain.
Yeah.
Well, he wouldn't be American.
Oh, that's true. But all right, let's call it a day. And they threw him in there, and they patted themselves in the back, and they said, look at us doing the right thing.
Yep.
But we get the funeral, and then Carrie is at Gareth's funeral. Carrie is everywhere.
What the hell, man?
I mean, she invited them to her wedding. We do see at the second wedding between Lydia and Bernard that, she gets seated at the table with Gareth and Matthew. And honestly, like, if you sat me at a table with Gareth and I was getting married the next day, I'd be like, Gareth, you've got to come to my wedding. So, like, he's the kind of guy you become friends with immediately.
Yes.
Like, he's just that kind of guy. So, obviously, the loss of Gareth hit everyone pretty hard. And
he lived bright and burned out fast, man.
And he did die at her wedding. So I guess maybe she felt obligated to be there. But after the funeral, her and Hugh Grant have a few words. Nothing of really consequence, just kind of like, it's not, sorry, and I'm married now, I gotta go.
Surprised they didn't bang behind the church, honestly.
Right? Or right on top of Gareth's cold, dead body.
Yeah. Jesus.
That's the kind of people they are.
Too soon.
And then we get, Hugh Grant's character and Thomas. We haven't really talked a whole lot about, but Thomas is just kind of like this big goofy, he's the rich guy that lives in the castle. He's at every wedding too. He's probably the least interesting character, I would say. Doesn't have a lot to say. He's just kind of a big doofus.
Yes.
And that's kind of his character. But they have a talk about how, our whole friend group is single. And we've always taken, pride in being single. But, Gareth and Matthew, they were basically married and they were so happy. And that's, the only time they really comment on the fact that they were together.
Yes, even when Matthew gets introduced,
they say
the priest introduced as his best friend.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can even see this look of knowing in the families and all this stuff. Oh, his roommate.
But he says, Hugh Grant kind of says, well, maybe I have met the right person. Maybe I've met a bunch of the right people, and I just haven't been ready for it. So basically, Hugh Grant decides to settle, essentially. He's you know what? One of these girls I was with will do. They were the right one. We flash forward, I think, 10 months ahead, and now the wedding card is Charles and
blank.
There's flowers across the name, so we don't know who Charles is marrying.
Oh, the roller coaster. I went right back up on the roller coaster.
Did you?
I was like, what the hell?
I did for a second. I was like, well, who's he marrying? And then they tell us it's Henrietta. It's the girl from the wedding, the one that he hoped... Duckface, they call her. The one he hoped he wouldn't run into. The one that burst into tears when she saw him. So he's marrying this woman. I was immediately furious. Because I was like, why are you settling for someone that you don't want to be with?
Fiona is right there, man.
You're just getting married to get married. Yeah, right? You got Fiona. You could have just married her. If you're just going to settle in, why not someone you know and you've known forever? Why this woman that you've already tried it with and don't like? At least give Fiona a shot.
Yeah.
And, like a true psychopath, he's invited Carrie to his wedding.
This is a wildest move.
So, Carrie shows up to his wedding. He sees her. He goes to take her in and show her to her seat. She drops the bombshell on him that her and Hamish aren't together anymore because the marriage was bad. Maybe because you were cheating on him while you were engaged? I don't know. Clearly it wasn't meant to be. The guy let a man die during his wedding speech and didn't say anything. He didn't even show up to Gareth's funeral. Only she came.
Oh, this is true.
Which I do think if someone dies at your wedding, it's probably bad luck. It's probably not going to last.
Yeah, if you're marrying this woman, it's probably bad luck and not going to last.
So she tells him this. Why on earth she didn't reach out sooner? Which she says, I thought about it, but I didn't. So she drops this on him at the wedding, day of the wedding. They're at the ceremony. Next scene we get is him and the boys in the back and trying to decide what he should do, because now he's having second thoughts because this girl he slept with twice, who he's madly in love with, is here, and she's single now. So
he's having a crisis.
Yeah, so this big wedding that they planned and everything, doesn't want to go through with it. So he decides he's going to go through with it anyway. He goes out. They ask if there's any objections. Deaf brother, bangs on a pew and gets everybody's attention, and then signs and asks Hugh to interpret it, telling, and Hugh's interpreting what he's saying, and he's saying, I think maybe the groom is having second thoughts. He's in love with someone else. And Hugh Grant confirms that this is true. And Henrietta does the only thing, the only logical thing is knocks him the fuck out.
Yes.
A stiff right cross and just
absolutely deserved.
Levels him. This poor woman. And you know what's the even worse part? she's with someone the last time we see her. Like, she is in a relationship.
Yeah, good for her.
No, I don't mean it after this. I mean before this. The last time we see her before.
Oh.
So we don't even see the worst part, where Hugh Grant probably swoops in and breaks up a relationship to ask this woman to marry him, gets her all the way to the altar, and then fucks her over.
Wow.
So she knocks him out. Next scene is him with a black eye.
Bailey's was kicking in hard by then.
Next scene is him with a black eye. They're all sitting around the table, and he gets a knock on the door. It's Carrie. She apologizes for causing so much trouble. He confesses his love to her again and asks her to live a life with him where they don't get married, but they just stay together forever. She agrees. They kiss in the rain.
I was livid.
With what?
Livid
with what part?
That they ended up together. Like, at this point, I hadn't realized that he was a piece of shit, too. From the point of the funeral on, I was rooting for Fiona.
Yo, I got you.
And I thought all this time, like, even up to the point where he calls off the wedding in the middle of the wedding, I thought it was going to be a trick play. And I thought he'd throw the ball to Fiona instead. Like, oh, there is somebody I'm in love with. And he points all the way to Andie McDowell and then moves over to Fiona.
Oh.
You know, I thought, no, instead. But you know what? Now that I look back at it, I'm kind of glad these horrible people ended up together and took themselves off the market.
Yeah, they should be together.
Yeah, I hope they
let them ruin each other's lives.
I hope
and not
he got a
people's.
vasectomy right afterwards.
But you know, it works out. So it works out for your girl. I mean, I guess sort of. We see like a little like montage. It's like a bunch of still shots of everybody, all the characters from the stories, and we find out that. So this is truly British. But at Charles's wedding. You know, Thomas kind of says that he hasn't met anyone either.
This is a weird scene.
Someone taps him on the shoulder. He turns around.
Splooshes.
And this man and this woman, they sploosh so hard for each other. And he's like, I feel like I've met you before. She goes, oh yeah, I'm your cousin.
Second cousin.
Distant cousins. So they get married. So we've got cousins getting married. We see that Scarlett has married an American guy that she met at the Scottish wedding. We kind of cut her out. Her stuff wasn't that good, but that was, you know. Matthew has found another boyfriend. Like, we get to see a picture of them together. Your girl Fiona marries Prince Charles.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now she's part of the royal family.
And this was before Diane.
It was before Diana had passed away, yeah. I mean, they weren't together anymore, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't follow that closely back then because I was 9.
Yeah, no, yeah, me too. But I know the history of it somewhat. And then we get to see that Hugh Grant and Andie McDowell have had a child together, who's probably also a little piece of shit.
Probably named him Damien. That's what I'm guessing.
And that's how the movie ends. That's your movie. That's what I got. CJ, you got any flowers? You want to send a bouquet with your name on it to whatever wedding this is? And
yeah, first off, long live Gareth.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Absolutely.
Really, I mean, of all the characters in this, they had to pick a number one to kill off.
Well, it had to make you feel something. If anybody else had died in this movie, I wouldn't give a shit.
That's true.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Damn, you make me think of these in a weird way. Yeah, I did there was some clever concepts in this. Did you catch when they're trying to talk him up when he's having second guessing before his own wedding, and they say all you do is wait for questions and you say I do.
Yeah.
They're like, that's how you get through it. And then when the brother is asking him, hey, do you have second thoughts about this wedding during the middle of it? He goes, I do.
Yeah.
Like, that's all he says. So I thought that was kind of clever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just really hoping for some better Hugh Grant.
It's out there. It's
gotta be, right?
Yeah,
he was great in Love Actually. He's probably one of the best characters.
So Richard Curtis has done 5 movies with Hugh Grant. This one, Love Actually, Notting Hill, and then both Bridget Jones's Diaries.
All of these on the list.
These are all on the list, yeah. So eventually we'll get, and I do know, I'm going to tell you right now, spoiler alert, I love Bridget Jones's Diary. Great movie.
Never seen it, but
Hugh Grant's a piece
Renee
of shit in
Zellweger
it, but he's really good in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, great movies, both of them. And then Notting Hill, I've heard good things. I've never seen it, but I feel like that, and that's got our girl Julia Roberts too.
Ooh.
That's Hugh Grant versus Julia Roberts.
Jesus, it's like the axis of evil.
Yeah. Yeah. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, but that's about all I got.
That's all you got? I don't have much. I did think it was interesting that this was, for several years after its release, this movie was the highest grossing British movie in history. worldwide box office of over 260 million. This movie was nominated for 2 Oscars in 1994. One was for Best Picture. One was for Best Screenplay. Lost both of them, rightfully. Picture to Forrest Gump.
Okay.
And Screenplay to Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Man, those 2 were in the same year?
Yeah, same year. The only other thing I thought was somewhat interesting, I think would have made this a much better movie. There's actually a few casting choices I would have been interested to see. Alan Rickman was considered for the part of Charlie, Hugh Grant's character, and Richard Curtis fought for it, but they all decided he'd be too old for the part.
Okay.
Marissa Tomei was originally supposed to play the part of Carrie.
I thought that would have been great. I did see that.
Yeah, I think she would have brought a lot more personality. I mean, Andie McDowell was just so cold and like, I mean, she's an awful character in this, so maybe she's supposed to be like
Which
cold.
sucks. Like she's pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, Groundhog Day. Love her in Groundhog Day.
Exactly. Which I would argue should be on our list.
That's not a chick flick.
It's romance.
It is a romance. But yeah, that's all I got for that.
Yeah. Oh, one other cool thing I liked, I saw that I guess there's been multiple polls, like, magazines. Who's the most annoying or worst character
I did see this,
in any British fiction, and she's usually number 1.
She won like an online poll for the worst character in like a British movie. Yep, and rightfully so. She is the worst.
Yep.
All right, shall we chick flick to a dick flick on this thing?
Yeah, you go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
All right, mine's real simple. I'm going to be honest with you. We go from 4 weddings and a funeral to 4 funerals and a wedding.
Oh, wow.
We just kill off all these motherfuckers. They're all terrible. We kill off Hugh Grant's character. We kill off Carrie. We kill off Tom. And I'm sorry, CJ, we kill off Fiona.
Okay, all right. I'm following you on this.
And then the marriage, Thomas and Gareth.
Yes, sir.
Or Matthew and Gareth. I'm sorry, Matthew and Gareth. We get a beautiful gay wedding. It's 4 funerals and a gay wedding is what I'm calling this. And that would make us much better.
Been probably the most exciting wedding in it.
Yeah, it would be the great one. The dancing would be fantastic.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been to a gay wedding.
I haven't either.
Well, listeners, if anybody out there wants to invite us,
yeah,
I am ordained. I'll perform the procedure, whatever the hell they call it.
I'm great at receptions. Hell of a dancer. You should see me go.
Oh man.
So, but yeah, that's mine. Just
can't wait.
4 funerals and a gay wedding.
Nice. I am going also with play on the title.
Okay.
I'm going 4 weddings, a funeral, and a zombie genocide.
Oh boy.
So I actually didn't bring this up when we were doing Austin Land. Have you ever heard of the book? And then I think they even made a movie called Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Yeah, the book's good. The movie's terrible.
Yeah, so why don't we have all these things happening? We have 4 weddings and a funeral that are all happening over a year of the zombie apocalypse.
Oh, yeah.
So, they're barricading in the castle.
We could switch out directors and get like Danny Boyle involved since he did like 28 Days Later, an English zombie movie.
Yeah, every single one of these ends, these 4, 5 little vignettes ends with a massive zombie attack.
Yeah.
And that's how we're ended up
And then Gareth can still come back.
There you go.
Yeah. And he's just the most fashionable,
I figured a way to win.
Coolest zombie.
I love it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Let's Nick Cage this thing.
All right. I'm going to go first.
Okay.
Like I said, man, Team Fiona the whole way. So mine's pretty simple at the end because we all know Prince Charles, actually that whole royal family, they're having some issues.
Oh, yeah.
They're having some real PR problems right about now. Let's cut him out of there.
Yeah.
And we got, need that. Dude, 1994 Nick Cage.
Oh, she's marrying him instead?
Yeah, with the long hair. He's holding the bunny. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
That is where he fits into this movie.
That's an easy one.
He's wearing a wife beater. Oh, yeah, man.
Perfect. Who do you think I connected him to? Mm-hmm. Gareth. It had to be Gareth. Also, I forgot to mention this. Did you recognize Gareth? Because he was just in a movie that we recently watched.
No.
He's the fun police from fucking Shakespeare in Love. He's the master of revels. He's the guy that breaks up the play.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Simon Callow is his name. Good actor. Simon Callow was also the main antagonist in Ace Ventura 2 When Nature Calls. He's the guy that hires him and brings him in and turns out to be the bad guy.
Wow.
That movie also starring Jim Carrey, obviously, who was in The Mask. The villain of The Mask is a guy named Peter Green. He plays
great.
Dorian.
Love him.
Peter Green also in a movie from 1994 that we talked about briefly, Pulp Fiction.
Oh.
He plays Zed.
That's true.
Get out the gimp. Okay. So he plays Zed. Ving Rhames, obviously. Marcellus Wallace from Pulp Fiction is in a movie called Kiss of Death, starring David Caruso and Nicolas Cage.
Your boy.
And honestly, I could have connected him to, from Ving Rhames, I could have went Con Air or Bringing Out the Dead.
Yes.
But I think I've used both of those movies already, so I found a different one.
Oh man, Bringing Out the Dead. Yeah, they got a little partner thing going on.
Yeah, the Ving Rhames and Nick Cage have done a few films together.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's mine. All right, let's rate it. Give me yours first.
Honestly, I hated both of these main characters.
As you should.
But I really like this story. And I think I'm going with I'm up between like a 3.75 and a 4.
Holy shit.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to go 3.75. I was starting at a 4, but now I realize how much Hugh Grant was a piece of crap in this too. I'm going to drop at 3.75.
Okay.
I mean, I like the story. I'm a sucker for foreshadowing. This was a big old bowl of foreshadowing through the whole damn thing. That's where I go with it.
All right. It's a 2 for me, dog.
Oh, wow.
Did not like this movie at all. It was boring. None of the characters were enjoyable except for Gareth. The whole 2 stars are probably for Gareth and Matthew, because I did like Matthew too. That couple I enjoyed a lot.
I lost it for him after the poem, man. I was like, you could end this poem 8 minutes earlier and maybe I wouldn't be crying
so
like a baby on my couch.
Like, they're the only ones that made me feel anything. This relationship between the 2 main characters made no sense.
Yeah, it was awful.
Like, how is he madly in love with her? A one-night stand. And the guy is just awful. They're awful, awful people, both of them.
You know what one thing this movie really got me in the feels of? Is like me, you, my wife, a few other choice people.
Yeah.
We have our core group.
Yeah.
At least I believe so.
Yeah, we do.
And I've had a lot of groups in my life, but this is the core group.
Yeah.
And that's when I was watching this. I was like, okay, these are the people that have found their core group.
I love that. I mean, I do love that.
And I felt a lot of resemblance with them.
I didn't even feel like they seemed like they liked each other that much as far as being a core friend group. Just everything was, I mean, maybe it's a British thing, but I do like British stuff. They just seem so stuffy and boring to me in this. And there was just no emotion. I don't know. It's a 2. This movie was just bleh. I didn't care for any of it.
Wow.
Yeah. And even it's billed as a romantic comedy. I barely laughed. None of the jokes landed. Even I thought the Mr. Bean stuff would be hilarious. Well, even that I was
I chuckled.
Nah, even that didn't hit for me.
You've seen him be funnier. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, he was better in the 30 seconds of screen time he gets in Love Actually. This movie was just me. 2 stars. Not a fan. I've seen better Richard Curtis. We've reviewed better Richard Curtis. We're going to see better Richard Curtis.
Let's see if we get something better for you.
I hope it's a better Hugh Grant movie, honestly. Let's see. We are at 202.
202. Let's hit that generate button. We have number 125.
125. Oh! What Women Want.
Mel Gibson.
Problematic.
Pre-problematic Mel Gibson, when we just thought he was a dreamy heartthrob.
Yeah.
Ooh, and Helen Hunt.
Helen Hunt.
I've seen this movie. Wait, is that Helen Hunt in this one?
Sex symbol Helen Hunt. Yeah.
Hey, she was there for me during puberty, dog.
Helen Hunt was in this movie, yes.
Yeah, I was mad about her.
No, yes. I mean, What Women Want. We got, Mel Gibson can read the minds of women. And there you have it. That's what we got.
Do you think that's what he was doing when he was talking to that cop?
No, I don't think...
He knew what she wanted to hear.
I don't think she... No, I don't think so. I don't think that's anything that she wanted to hear. So yeah, there you go. What Women Want. And what You've Got Mails guys want is for you to all check out our podcast, like and subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. Again, as always, the email, you've.gotmails@yahoo.com. You can find us on Facebook. We just got a nice page, You've Got Mails. We share every week. TJ takes time out of his week every week and makes a hilarious meme based on the movie that we're watching. I look forward to the meme that CJ makes every week. So you can check us out.
Somebody does.
Yeah, you can check us out on there. We always, upload what movie we're doing. We send the links out. We try to keep things fresh on the Facebook page. So please check us out on all the socials, as the kids say. I think that's what the kids say.
I don't know.
I don't know either. But yeah, so until next time, when we review What Women Want, please stay romantic. Don't be shitty to each other.
You heard the man, Sugar Tits?
Oh, come on now.
Oh, can you believe he called a cop Sugar Tits?
I can. He's a horrible person.